Hello and welcome to Animasaurus. My name is Kim and today I'm going to be taking a look at Spies in Disguise, the third trailer. Now Spies in Disguise is being produced by Blue Sky Studio. This will be a milestone movie production because this is going to be the first Blue Sky Studio produced movie that is actually distributed by Disney. When Disney acquired Fox, they also acquired Blue Sky. And this was one of the projects which were already in production. So I'm not sure how many Blue Sky movies we're going to get that are distributed by Disney, but this one is definitely going to be going ahead. What other cool stuff has Blue Sky done, you may ask? I'm a big fan of Blue Sky. I really like the work they do because they're usually doing stuff that's not really conventional. They push their cartoony style quite a lot. We're looking at things like robots and Horton Hears a Who, which I think was a really awesome adaptation of Dr. Seuss's work. And then you had Epic, which I really liked Epic. And the Peanuts movie, again, was a brilliant adaptation of taking the comic book and then adapting it to a movie and still making it feel like the comic book. If you too like Blue Sky Studios, mash that like button. But Spies in Disguise itself, where did it come from? It came from a short film done by Lucas Martel called Pigeon Impossible. Now this came out way back in 2009. Since then, Lucas Martel has kicked off Mighty Coconut, and they've gone on to do other work as well. But this Pigeon Impossible short has still been picked up and actually developed into a movie itself. So Pigeon Impossible was focusing on Walter Beckett. Now in this movie, Walter Beckett was actually a bumbling spy. So he has a wrestle with a pigeon. So the pigeon in itself actually beats up Walter throughout this movie, which is really great. Very interesting sort of thought to say that the pigeon steals the briefcase that's a super spy secret briefcase and kind of launches a rocket off into space, which Walter then has to try and get back. You can see the film now, done way back 10 years ago. It doesn't have the same feel as like modern render engines do. So they were working with older technology, but still they managed to pull off quite a quirky, happy sort of short. So this is what then Spies in Disguise is based off of. Now the story of Spies in Disguise though is very different. Now we're following the story of Lance Sterling. And Lance Sterling is a super spy. So going back to a more traditional spy story, something along the lines of Bond, where you'll have your awesome techie things to work with, as well as him being super cool and being able to get through any situation. And he's got a level head and knows exactly what to do and how to get through it. That's what feels like from the trailer anyway. What I do feel like from this particular movie though, I think they're relying very heavily on the voice cast to be carrying the movie quite a lot, and their character design goes along really well with the voice cast. But to start off with, they've got Will Smith. Now Will Smith has only just come off of doing the Genie with Disney, and that's gone really well. Will Smith has been around the industry a long time and he's done some awesome work. So with this one, he's into it. And the other one is Tom Holland. Now Tom Holland's also come off doing a lot of awesome stuff with Spider-Man, but he's also with another Disney film, he's going to be voicing Onwards, which comes out next year too. So, these guys have both got a lot on their plate, so it's interesting to see that they've gone with these two guys to be doing the voices in Spies in Disguise. But if we look at the characters and the design of the characters, when we look at them next to the actors as well, you can see that they've taken a lot of influence from the characters and put them into the characters too. So I think they've done a great job with the character design. Talk about some of the action and timing from inside the spy film, because one of the things about a spy film, especially recent spy films, is the action. There's got to be a lot of action that goes along with it. So let's talk about some of So the framing within inside this frame, again, they've got our hero character right dead center in the frame, and we've given him a couple of frame to be inside a frame inside a frame. So we've got lots of dead space either side, which is both blurry as well as him being in focus. So he's focused in the middle. He's also got this circle. Circles are very strong figures with inside films. So if you can cut a circle with a circle, you'll help draw your focus to the face. And if you look at where that circle cuts, it leads you straight to his eyes. So very nice framing inside that. And looking inside this frame, so framing inside a frame again, first thing you're going to notice is that there's a door, and they frame the whole door, so you get the character frame from top to bottom. Whereas if you look at all the characters around the outside, all the characters around, all the non-essential characters are all being cut by all sorts of things. You've got the frame of the picture cutting that guy over there, you've got the edge of the frame, the feet frame cutting the characters on the heads, off at the legs, and off at the body, and everything. So they're not easy to spot, yet our key character is definitely easy to see. And you can also see that the colours behind him and around him give him a clear silhouette, so that all the other walls are actually in shadow, but he is definitely in the light. So beautiful framing for that particular hero shot. Some of the shots in this film are really, really quite technical, but they've hidden hard things really well. Like these things here, if you're actually ever trying to clamp claws on a character, would be quite technically difficult. But if we just step through this frame by frame, he's got them raised, one going really, really quick, and you can see that the blur is taking effect in here. So motion blur, boom, they're getting into place behind his neck. You can see over his neck, over his shoulders, and the character is now reacting, but all of a sudden, all the claws except one have gone. I thought that was very, very well hidden. And that one's still just there. You can just see a hint of red underneath his neck. But none of the other claws are visible. But you know, or you have a feeling that they've done something. And that was, how many frames did it take to get through that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 frames. You can get a lot of action happening in 6 frames. And this little sequence I thought was really, really well executed as well, with a lot of camera moves too. So let's just step through this one and see how many frames we take to get through. 1, 2, 3, and then we cut. I like that. 1, 2, 3. We've got a clear line of action. So this leads us into our next one, where we go 1, 2, 3. Look how close that hand is to his neck. And then we cut straight to, oh wow, look at that. His hand is right back by his chin again. There's a lot of distance covered between here and here. But somehow it cuts together, because in the next frame we go, boom, it's right there. Look how far he moves in that one frame. And the only reason he can do that and not feel jarring is because here he's gone from back by his ear, and then he gets there. So we've repeated the motion, but because he's already preempted it, we can do that, and the cut does not feel awkward. It doesn't feel like we've cut that much. And I love this camera move. We've led our eye towards the point of impact, and that's where we're going. It's straight down that arm, which is rung corner to the edge. Here we go. You ready? In. 1. There's the arm. Going to that target. 2, 3. 3 frames, and we have gone from being a nice 2-shot to right in on his neck. And watch what happens. We've got our impact point, which is on that 3rd. Oop, he's gone across. And all the motion has now transferred to be heading that direction. So it's gone from one way across the screen to back again. Lovely. Another thing which I always or I think about when I'm animating, is how many frames does it take to get a character up? It always depends on how fast they're traveling. I found this one really interesting, watching how quickly he goes off out of shot. So we've got him here sitting on the steering wheel, and go 1, 2, 3. He realizes something's happening. 4. He's stretched and he's gone. 5 frames, he's out of shot from being square on the frame. Beautiful. The one thing that I was thinking about when I was watching this was how many movies they've actually kind of taken inspiration from to come up with ideas. The first thing that I sort of came across was I thought of Ratatouille. Because Remy had this great sequence underneath in the kitchen where he's running underneath the shopping carts. And of course, a bit later on here in this one, you've got Walter Beckett as the pigeon rolling and running underneath the luggage trolleys. And I thought that was an interesting sort of thing. But the other one which really went straight from me is these 3 pigeons. And I just went, you know, that just looks like it comes straight from Bolt. So the final thing for me is, well, what do I rate this movie? Where do I think it's going to come? Well, considering everything else that's come along, and some of the other magical, awesome work that Blue Sky's done, I don't think this one quite hits the mark that some of these others do. So for me, this one's going to get 3 Lance Sterlings. How about you? Do you agree with my rating? Leave me a comment down below and tell me what you think this trailer is like, and if you're going to go watch this movie. Alright guys, until next time, thanks for being here and sharing Spies in Disguise with me. See you soon!